Just a bit over 2 weeks ago, Pixar announced that Monsters Inc. 3 was officially in the works and coming in the next 4 years. So I figured, hey, we have a 4-year wait, why not go back and look at the entire franchise of Monsters Inc.'s movie, shows, shorts, all of it, and rank them all. Now, although Mike's New Car is in last place, this is not a bad short whatsoever. There is no bad project on this entire list. The only reason this one's in last place is because a short film, you can only do so much of a short film, especially compared to the other movies. To me, this is an iconic Pixar short film that a lot of Pixar movies just lost and no longer do anymore. The old Pixar short films used to be so iconic, and this is definitely one of them. To me, this is probably one of the best older Pixar short films that we have gotten. I just miss Pixar short films like this that just used to play right in front of other movies. Especially this one. Mike's New Car is all of that. It is so iconic. But the only reason why it's last place on this list is because I like all the other projects more. This one just feels like a fun, 3-minute, one-and-done little short film. That's what it's meant to be, don't get me wrong. But other than that, especially compared to everything else on this list, this one is just here for the laughs, and that's really it. Never touched upon again, not used for any other purposes, just here for the laughs. Nothing wrong with that, but when ranking all the Monsters Inc. projects, one has to come in last, and that's this one.
A door station? Where did you get a door station?
Now, some of you might be crazy for having Party Central above Mike's New Car, but to me, I think Party Central just had a lot more to offer and overall was a lot funner. I love the overall college party vibe. It was able to match the overall feel of what a college party actually is like. And using the setting of Monsters University in a creative fashion, and not just using a normal college party, but doing something that only in the monster world can work. And that's when we get the door technique, where we're using the doors to swap other party members and such. I just love that idea, and ate this entire thing up because of that plot point. Mike's New Car is iconic for its own beings, but Party Central to me just offered a whole lot of level of fun. Kind of just captures the feel of the entire Monsters Inc. franchise, all into this easy 3-minute digestible short film that you could just put on the background or put on right before you go to bed, just for that last minute fun thing to watch. And that's exactly what these two short films deliver on. I just feel like Party Central does it better than Mike's New Car does. But overall, they're both good in their own ways and they're both good in their own rights. But they're both short films, so that's the reason why they're both at the bottom edge of this list.
They just delivered the new kids had an ID. Welcome to Monsters Incorporated.
Now, I am counting this as Season 1 and Season 2, although I do think Season 2 is better than Season 1. They would have both landed about in the same part of this list, so I just decided to combine the two together. Monsters at Work to me is everything I wanted it to be, plus more. To me, there was always more stories to expand upon after the first Monsters Inc. movie. And they never did because Monsters University was just a prequel to the original Monsters Inc. So there was just no stories they ever told after Monsters Inc. Until Disney Plus came out. That's when we get Monsters at Work. And from the start, just from Season 1, the world building is what they get right the most, because even when we do get to Season 2, we're getting to see all these different factories besides just Monsters Inc. And they decided to actually connect both stories of Monsters University and Monsters at Work. And now they actually feel like two collected storylines both tied together. Before, if you just watched Monsters Inc. and Monsters University, it kind of just felt two different stories, not really connected, just alternate universes. Monsters at Work actually connected both of them together, had something to do with every character's character arc, villains, etc. That's what I love the most about this show. But then you actually throw in likable characters. We get Tyler and Vel as the next duo of Monsters Inc. We also get this hilarious crew of the Myths introduced in Season 1 of the show. When the show is actually about the main story going on between each two seasons, I absolutely eat it up. Sure, the show does have its few episodes here and there where there's absolutely no point of it existing, but hey, This is technically a Disney Channel show, so that's kind of exactly what you would expect. But to me, when this show delivers, it absolutely delivers. And what makes it most feel like it's actually a part of the original canon is that they actually have the original voices of all of these characters. It feels like a real thing, and that's what I love the most about this show. Sure, it's not the original films, but it's also not just a complete waste on Disney Plus either. To me, as a Monsters Inc. fan, this thing delivered on everything it absolutely needed to. And if you're a big Monsters Inc. fan and haven't watched this show, it's going to meet all of your expectations. If you're a light Monsters Inc. fan, you're not really going to find much enjoyment out of it. But if you're a fan of the franchise like me and Monsters Inc. is one of your favorite movies of all time, then yes, check this show out. It's absolutely going to deliver.
Seatbelt!
Okay, go!
Does anyone want gum?
Just drive!
Now to me, Monsters University is one of the most underrated Pixar movies there is. One of the reasons is probably because I grew up on this film along with the first Monsters Inc. film, which I will get to, which we all knew that was number 1 anyway, so it's fine. But Monsters University, a lot of people complain about this movie, saying it's not really matching the vibe of the original film. It just feels like this completely separate film out there. But nostalgia does blind all of us. For some films, it's always out there. And even outside of nostalgia, I just love a lot of plot points that this movie decides to tackle. For one, I love the college vibe. Everyone starts somewhere, so just the going back in time factor. That was fun, and seeing just how this friendship started too. They still had the same chemistry, even though they were still getting to know each other. By the end of film, it just felt like classic Monsters Inc. again. And I just love the main theme of this movie overall, of just following your dreams, but also at the same time, your dreams have to be realistic. You can't always follow your dreams. You can only get to a certain point in time where you then have to stop. And by the end of the movie, when Mike was realizing that, it just felt like a darker standard and more of a dark truth that this character is going through. And that, to me, can be one of the best Pixar moments there ever is out there. Just because it tackles the themes that make Pixar so great in the first place. And the entire movie is all fun and such, this whole college setting. But then we get to a moment like that where they take it seriously. And all of a sudden, everyone's feeling the moment that Mike is going through, and since you care for these characters so much, it all works, and the theme just delivers overall. Sure, there's a few story problems here and there, but you also have to admit, the scare games is an absolute blast to watch on screen. Sure, story-wise, it's probably not the best thing they could do, but you gotta admit, it's extremely fun to watch, especially since you grew in such a connection to these characters. Come on, watching them do games like that is fun to do. But by the end of the day, this film is still not the original film. The original film just has a certain flair to it that works. Monsters University never really matches that, but hey, it's still a really fun film, and since I have nostalgia for it, it all works for me just the same.
That can kill me!
What
are you doing?
Monsters Incorporated.
But easily at number 1, one of my favorite films of all time, and my second favorite Pixar movie of all time, we have Monsters Inc. Like I said, I have nostalgia for this film. I grew up on it along with Monsters University. This entire franchise I just have a huge nostalgia for, a huge heart for, and most of that is thanks to this movie. I have a very vague memory of me watching this movie for the first time when I was really young, and I just kind of remember every incident, every twist that this movie threw at you, and just watching it, I just have this vague memory of me falling in love with these characters for the first time. Part of the reasons why we fell in love with these movies to begin with is because of the duo of Mike and Sully. They are so iconic, and they're one of the best Pixar duos out there. They're such a funny duo. You can feel the chemistry just bouncing off of one another. And especially Mike is hilarious, Sully's the more serious one. Their chemistry is just golden. And they're one of the main reasons why this franchise is what it is to begin with. Once we get to the story itself, it's some of the best things Pixar has to offer. Great villains with Randall and Waternoose. Their motivations I just love behind. The overall story with the scream shortage I absolutely just love. Just overall, like I said, I have much nostalgia for this film. The themes of fatherhood with Sully and Boo, that dynamic. Mike and Sully, that dynamic. The dynamics between all these different characters is what I love the most about this film. Monsters Inc. 3 can't come any sooner. It's going to be like 4 years away still, but what I hope most from Monsters Inc. 3 is that they take what works so well about Monsters Inc. and incorporate some elements from what works so well about Monsters at Work and combine the two together. I want world building of Monsters at Work with the post Monsters University, Monsters Inc. vibe, making Monsters at Work still canon. Don't undo anything from that show. Maybe bring some of those characters into Monsters Inc. 3, because I'm just very curious and excited to what they have to offer with Monsters Inc. 3. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, maybe these ones on the subs you too. Like, subscribe. See you guys next time. Goodbye.